Huntsville, welcome back to Tangled String Studios to the Couch Tour. We're so glad you're not here. Anyway, we are glad that we do have here tonight some amazing musicians. So lucky to have Ingrid and Marie in the house. You there?
Woo!
Yeah, okay. And a special guest coming up later. Anyway, we're delighted you're here. We're delighted that Downtown Huntsville, Inc. and the Venue Group sponsored this show. It is important that we have the sponsors so we can pay these artists while they're looking for things to get paid for. Honestly, all the bars, all the venues are closed, so we're opening up our house, and maybe we can roll in a little bit of love for all of us in the town, particularly the folks that entertain us. It's very important to us. We're also looking for some donations, so if you could dig down a little bit deep and hit that donate button, we would very much appreciate it. Your donation will go a long way to keeping the music alive, keeping you happy until all this goes over and we're back to normal. Until then, stay home, stay safe, and look forward to those bright days. We hope this brightens your day a little bit too. And since this microphone will be the microphone used by the special guest, watch my procedure here. All clean as a whistle. All right. Take it away, Ingrid Marie.
That's crazy awesome. You're awesome, Danny. Thanks for having us come into your home here. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling just a touch of paranoia with all this talk about. I can hardly think for all the face touching that I do. I probably touch my face like 45 times per minute, so that's all I can think about. But while we are doing our precautions and all those sorts of things, I personally want to place the weight and the balance on what's inside, and being in your space and enjoying your space. And, of course, plenty of naps. I said laps. Maybe I was thinking laps. Plenty of naps and obviously hydrate and all those kinds of things. But I just don't want to get too wrapped up in protocols and acting perfect and, looking right when on the inside, I really just want to be spending my time catching up with people and connecting with folks. I really miss my bandmates. It's really great to have my buddy Dave close enough to where we can actually play in the same room together. But we are doing a lot of stuff. Most of us are sending things back and forth. As musicians, we now really have we have access to all kinds of software and Dropbox and things like that. So we're spending a lot of time, well, I personally am spending a lot of time writing and just creating. And I know somebody had asked how is quarantine affecting us, and there's probably two really good answers to that, but my main answer is it's not. I am a homebody, and I do just love to sit right here at my setup. This is exactly what it looks like at my house, the furniture and some sound equipment and some instruments. And I just love to spend most of my time sitting around making things, for y'all and for myself, because it makes my heart happy. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're fortunate enough, like me, maybe you have a roommate that you can still be close with. You can still share the air with. And that's my daughter in this case. I spend a lot of time in the same room with her. And I feel for those of you that are, don't have a Kaylee, just put it that way. Because it's a lot of comfort to have somebody that that you can just hug and be close to these days. So I'm going to start off here with, this is a brand new tune, and I do spend a lot of time writing a lot of new music. During the winters particularly, I gig less and I record more. And the song is called Skipping Rails, and I hope you think that it's super weird, because I think it's super weird. It's about time travel and fixing it.
I'll be out racing thunder, found out now. Somehow I wonder, did I get faster on my knees? But I found myself falling backwards, found us back before we got off track again. Found out how to not get caught in time. Found us right before we lost us, when of course the less it cost us everything we had, and more than that, skipping rails. You broke something free last night, mid-flight. Sent me chasing fragments of delight. Scattered between disaster and catastrophe. Scattering my illusions of it has to be. Found up where we lost our place in time. Pay us back each nickel with a dime. Found us right before we lost us, when of course the less it cost us everything we had, more than that, skipping rails. I'll tell you a story you can never forget. I know everything, everything.
Okay, I like that. That don't hurt my feelings.
closer. One more time, say that you love me before your last goodbye. Please forgive me for all my sins. Yes, I slammed it wall, but you pushed me in. I have seen your face under every sky, across every water and over every line. You know my heart more than I do, 'cause we were the greatest of men. We time against us, miles between us. Heaven's cry left you speechless. Now the sky is clear and it's blue. See my future in you. I'll be waiting for you until you're ready to love me again. I'll put my hands up and I will be everything different. I'll be better for you. I'll be waiting for you until you're ready to love me again. I'll put my hands up and I will be somebody different and better for you. Let me stay here for one more night. I'll build a world around me, push me to the light, so that I can tell you how I was wrong. Oh, I was a child then, but now I'm willing to learn. 'Cause we time against us and miles between us. Heaven's cried and left you speechless. Now the sky is clear and it's blue, and I see the future in you. I'll be waiting for you until you're ready to love me again. I'll put my hands up and I will be everything different. I'll be better for you. I'll be waiting for you until you're ready to love me again. I'll put my hands up and I will be somebody different, better for you. Time against us, miles between us. Know the heavens got left you speechless. Oh, time against us, miles between us. Know the heavens got left you speechless. They cried and left you speechless. My hands up and I will be everything different. I'll be there for you. I'll be waiting for you until you're ready to love me again. I'll put my hands up and I will be somebody different and better for you.
So this next tune is an original, and it's called "Waiting," and it is off our Waters Felts Project CD. So I'd be remiss if I didn't just kind of recap how me and my little ones came up to Huntsville, and we met Ken Waters at an open mic night, and I sat in on a song, and he says, "Well, I got to fly to Paris for a month, but when I get back, we're starting a band." So it just, some of those places it happens just like that. I've lived a lot of other places where it didn't happen just like that, but again, considering myself to hail from Huntsville now, because I have enough years here under my belt and enough friends here that will claim me. So we did a jazz project, and we did a version of this on our first self-titled Waters Felts Project CD, "Waiting."
You're the one beside me. As I speak, you turn to me. You don't open up your eyes. You don't even take a drink. You are waiting on me, yeah. Waiting, it's sweet. You waiting on me. What do I say to enchant you? What secret way do my lips move? You have that picture on your mind before I even speak. Worry, I don't worry when waiting on me, yeah. You were on my mind all the time, can you see? Every time I go, and who I know never takes both away from where we are, whose we are. Ready, you are ready when you're waiting on me, yeah. You were on my mind all the time, can you see? Every time I go, who I know never takes us both away from where we are, whose we are.
So there. So there. Sometimes I enjoy requests and sometimes I don't enjoy them. But some of the best songs that I have learned to cover are suggestions by people who really have, they're listeners, they're audience members that have a great ear for what you would sound good doing. And so, of course, it helps us to expand, you know, what we're good at, get out of our comfort zone. But I've been asked to sing a friend of mine's favorite song, which is an Alicia Keys cover. And it's also one of my favorite songs just to perform in general. I do love it. I love playing it. And maybe I wish I wrote it.
Some people live for fortune, and some people live for fame. Some people live for power, oh yeah. Some people just live to play the game. Some people think the physical things, they define what's within. But I've been there before. That life's superficial. Some people want it all. I just want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, no, no. Some people want diamond rings. They just want everything. Everything means nothing if I ain't got you. Some people search for a fountain. The promise is forever young. Some people need 3 dozen roses. Oh, and that's the only way to show them you love them. Just hand me the world on a silver platter. And what good would it be? No one to share, and no one who truly cares for me. Some people want it all. I just want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, no, no. Some people want diamond rings. They just want everything, don't they? Everything means nothing if I ain't got you, no, no. Some people, they want it all. I just want nothing at all. It ain't you, baby, if I ain't got you, no, no. Some people want diamond rings. They just want everything. Everything means nothing if I ain't got you.
Okay, had a little break. Again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Downtown Huntsville Inc. and the Venue Group. And we certainly do want to thank these wonderful artists. What a great first set. That was just absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely delicious to listen to. And it'll be in a place on the YouTube where you can play it over and over again. And I know it'll be on my playlist. Anyway, back to the music. Ingrid Marie.
So I lied, and I actually promised some of y'all that I was going to do some storytelling about some of these songs, but I really haven't told very many stories at all. In fact, I don't know if I've told any. But this first guitar tune is called Venus and the Moon. And to be honest, I can't remember the exact place and frame of mind that I was in when I wrote it, but I do know that we were living in Birmingham, and my kids were in middle school, and I was doing a lot of music down there, and just the gist of the lyrics are about letting somebody go to be the best self that they can be, but in that also kind of embracing the space that you get to have in that, and pursuing the things that you are. And the chorus, of course, is about Venus and the Moon. I happened to be standing in the lawn where we were living at the time, and I looked right up, and there was just this gorgeous, like, sickle moon, and there was Venus, just like a drawing, just hanging out, like, right at the tip of it. And the phrase just kind of came to me. That's how a lot of phrases, you know, I'm spying on my environment, I'm spying on the conversations around me, and I kind of always hear some kind of a rhythm in the environment, you know, wheels turning on the highway or something like that, and then I just kind of get inspired that there's kind of like a melody and words that pretty much drop in at the same time. And I blame journaling for that. If you want to have kind of a seamless approach where you don't have to start and stop your song, to me, just writing 3 pages every morning for like, let's just say 10 years or more, it kind of frees you up from self-criticism and being able to just kind of let whatever is in your mind go to the page, and then you don't have to read it back unless there's like a certain gem in there and you just want to like harvest that and turn it into a song. But then when you actually do sit down with an idea, then it comes together really quickly, and I find that you can make more that way. Anyway, that's my process. So I work. It's called Venus and the Moon.
You can go your own way, go my own way too. You can go where you go, a voice will follow you. Do your own thing. My visage will be always in your view. When I see the view of you and Venus and the moon, you can own the highway, just long as you are your heart. Keep my soul within me, safely carried to the throne. Hope you find your king and you come back wielding strength. Your approach, my own company's cool. The view of Venus and the moon, too much more for me to take. Time, but I get low too. There are places where I go you cannot follow to. I've been running to my center. The truth is all uphill. Never could keep up with you. So much space to fill. Sky, I feel more of you than there are places where I go you just cannot get to.
So while we're on the subject, this beautiful instrument was handmade and crafted by the great Danny Davis. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Danny, you're awesome, and it sounds really great, and it's comfortable and warm and easy to play. So thank you for doing that. I am going to play a song that I wrote when I was living in Colorado, and at the time I didn't have a name for it, so I just called it The Band That Never Was. So why don't we just go with that, Band That Never Was. Waiting here for you to show up at my door. Can't hardly give you much clearer direction. It's not like you ain't been here before. Do you believe in me? Do you believe we're together in the end? I'm waiting here for you to see me. What could you be waiting for? Billy Kate took a job back east, I don't think it was for the cash. Called his phone was disconnected, he was headed back, and he moved back west. He said he's doing what really lost, but I've heard him play funky bass, the rhythm from above, and I believe in you and me. I believe we'll be together in the end. I'm waiting here for you to see me. What could you be
back home in Colorado and he's working with his hands, making dreams of wood for someone else. Wonder if that's what you planned. You don't want to see me back. Don't make me crawl down. You know I need you here with me. Bring your hammer, bring your eye. Oh, I believe you need. Oh, I believe we'll be together in the end. I'm waiting here for you to see me. Yeah, leave me. Oh, what could you be waiting for? Priscilla is a family man, but he sure keeps that beat. A one-take wonder on my tracks. Can you take the heat? I don't know what it's gonna take to get him out here to play. But as long as he's playing gigs all free, somebody gotta pay him. Oh, and I believe in you and me. Oh, I believe we'll be together in the end. I'm waiting, dear Lord, waiting for you to see me. Leave me out. What the hell are you waiting for?
All right, we're going to give this a go. I've never really performed this, so. Come on, babe, stand, come clean. Ain't it sweet how you love me? It's the only safe way. The only safe way. Come on, babe, it's time to get straight. Don't hold me to all that hatred. Take it out on me. You can't escape, can't escape it. Come on, babe, let's make it plain. There's no way to despise me in the public eye, since you disgraced me. You can't see me and say you replace me. No wonder you changed. You don't love me. You can't love me. Fall in love. Tell the truth to me. You come on to me and you look away.
crew stay. Come on, babe, your looks make it plain. That's no way to despise me in the public eye. You disgrace me. You can't see me sing since you replace me. No wonder you change. You don't love me. 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 Come on, baby.
All right, so we're back, and I definitely want to give a shout out to Downtown Huntsville Inc. Before a lot of us even knew they were out there, they were doing all that underground work and complementing my personal skill set doing organizing and connecting with people and just being out there in general, supporting artists and just the growth of the downtown Huntsville area. And so on top of that, of course, Venue Group, who is supporting us and bringing us to you live so you guys can do what you're supposed to, which is stay at home with each other and cook all your favorite recipes and listen to your favorite bands. And I know personally I'm online a lot more looking for entertainment these days to kind of break up our at-home schedule and routine. So thanks you guys for doing that. I know it's not easy for a lot of you, and if you've got pets, hug your pets until we can hug each other again, especially you extroverts. I do love you. For me, it's not been a whole lot of different because I do just love my space, and I love to sit there and just create in it, and I love being home with my family, kids. And so once again, thank you, Downtown Huntsville Inc. Thank you, Venue Group. We could not be more grateful for you taking care of us. Danny, I'm completely touched that you guys reached out to us and to a lot of other musicians. When we were just looking at ways to stay connected to the people that like to hear us play, and it's completely awesome for you to share all of this that you've built by hand for many, many years. And so, Danny and Susan, we greatly appreciate you at Tangled String Studio. And this guy, I don't even know when to say that we first met. It just seems like he has always been there. And I know I started seeing him out in public, and at some point he was at something I was playing at, and for some reason, our complementary music styles have come together into some kind of a collaboration. And I feel it's unique and it's genuine. And I know any of you guys who have played with my buddy Dave, you know what it is like to have somebody show up to your deal and have yourself feel like totally taken care of. There was one time that you came to something and I had brought the sound system because I had been the one that talked to the venue, and you showed up with your van with a whole backup of gear and everything possible, and you were apologizing that the mic stand or something that you pulled out was, is this the right one? Is this going to work? And I just thought, like, if we all took care of each other this way every single day, and I know a lot of y'all do, I may not as much as you, but I am growing in that point. So This is my dear and amazing and big-hearted, talented, kind buddy, Dave Gallagher. Needs no introduction, but I will, because maybe some of you are watching from other states and have not met the legend, the myth, the great Microwave Dave. And I'm just I'm honored that I could call you up and we could get together and do this just like we were in each other's living room. So
I had to cancel 4 other gigs to get it.
We're gonna do a tune by Dave, and it's called "The Worst Thing."
Whatever happened to that feeling? The one that's been here for so long. I was standing, now I'm kneeling. And I don't know what's going on. I can't find a way I knew. Don't know what I'm going through. Lord, it's just the worst thing. That old familiar state of mind that told my story every day. It's been all left way behind. Once all this got underway, there's not much that I can do except admit I know what's true. Oh Lord, it's you. It's the worst thing. To that feeling that status quo I couldn't lose. I was hurting, now I'm healing. Wearing new holes and all my dancing shoes. Oh Lord, it's you. You're not the first thing. You're not the cursed thing. Lord, you're the worst thing. The worst thing that ever happened to the blues. You're the worst thing that ever happened to the blues. You're the worst thing that could ever happen to the blues.
Let's do it again. Woo.
That was awesome. That
Woo,
was
woo.
so awesome.
Really nice. Nice piano.
What a good tune. What a good tune. Can you picture me a village out of paperweights? Cut out the clouds like corners, pocket-sized umbrella of a tiny cake. In case we're calling in the weather, it's origami holiday. When it rains, colors are bleeding. Origami holiday is built for only you and me. You can wrap it round your finger wearing like a ring. Tuck it under, twist it to a tiny pair of wings. Fashion me a forest out of paper mache. Come 100 horses gonna carry us away. Origami holiday. When it rains, colors are bleeding. Origami holiday is built for every possibility. It's built for easy portability. It's built for every capability. Built for only you, me. Oh, origami, black dress, white swan. Oh, origami, carry on. Origami holiday. Origami holiday. Built for every possibility, yes. Built for every capability, yes. Built for recordability. Built for only you and me. Oh, origami, black dress, white sun. Oh, origami, why don't you carry on? Oh, origami. Thank you, Dave. It's one of those special songs that just kind of the melody and the lyrics all came down the chute together. And it was almost like, you know, when you've overheard a tune. And my musician friends, I know, totally get this, but you're listening in. And so it was more being told to me or more being played to me. And so it's an honor to be able to share something like that with those of you who may have gone through loss. I know a lot of you have overcome some tragedies and trials this last year. And I'm hoping that everything gets better for you. And more importantly than that, that whatever it is that you're going through, that you have someone by your side. And that's what makes all the difference. So here it is, I'm Not Far Behind. It's from my dad. I was standing on my treasure and living in the measure, but I'll turn it all over you, and I'll help you to the other side. I'm not far behind. So now I'm running up to the railroad bed till I'm drowned out by the engine's deafening thread, and I'll turn it all over again as we fall into the pistons time. I'm not far behind. Go, 'cause you wanna go. Leave, you can't stay here anymore. You're not gonna find it here, and you'll just run out of time. The less you leave, the better. Just leave me here to remember, yeah. I'm not standing in your way, I can let you be whole. This crossing gate, it has us stopped in the road for the last time. You've got the last line. Just every now and then promise to play your game. Let it ring one time, let me know you're safe. I don't pick up, you pretend to hear my name. I'll do the same, and I'll do the same. So go, 'cause you wanna go. Leave, I can't take this anymore. You're never gonna find it here. In fact, you'll just run out of time. The less you leave, the better, 'cause your promise is forever, yeah.
just finished cleaning out the attic, putting up the ladder. None of that's gonna matter anymore.
Absolutely beautiful.
She's a buoyant spirit full of light, love, candy, and whimsical energy. Growing up countryside on the Canadian border outside Rochester, New York, her album Manna is available right now, but tonight she's delivering a unique experience to the comfort of wherever you are right now, alongside a legend who's on tour like a 90s wrestler, Carnival Circus, twice on Sunday in Vegas, Microwave Dave, party people, grown-ups, and munchkins. My name is Tim Miller, aka T-Mill, and this is Couch Sessions from Tangled Strings. And I don't know about you guys, but I got a lottery going on how many of my friends are going to wind up having a baby shower out of this. New moms and dads, congrats in advance. You only live once, and this is going to be a very special experience. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you guys to Tangled Strings. My name is Tim Miller, and I'm here with Ingrid, Marie, and Microwave Dave. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. Whoop, whoop. Tangled Strings.
Very good, really, considering the circumstances.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thanks, y'all, for making this possible.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. And again, we appreciate you guys not being here. Find the change in the couch, dig in those couches, find that loose change, make those donations. Now, congrats in advance. You described becoming, Ingrid, you described becoming a mother at the most unexpected rebirth of your authentic self. Can you take us through that? Just kind of what that was like.
Oh, I mean, I think everybody thinks, this is not the right time, or I'm not prepared. I wouldn't be a good parent. So you have all this, kind of inner dialogue about what you think parenting is going to be. And they show up, and your world just kind of flip-flops. It just turns upside down. Everything you thought is not. Everything you thought was one way, it's the whole purpose to doing everything becomes completely different. And I guess the closest thing to that is, having a pet. When you have something depending on you that you got to put their needs first for the first time in your life. And I don't know, maybe some people come this way. They're just like natural born generosity machines, and they just live for others and serve others from birth. That was not me. I was trying to figure it all out and just trying to get stuff done and kind of be the best version of myself. But, no, the best version of myself was meeting a human being on the first day of their life and watching the days just kind of unfold, and this complete entire other creation that you had no idea about just unfold and watch that. They're like a treasure box. You just take something new out every day. You're like, I didn't know that was there. I didn't even know what that was. So, but yeah, I mean, that rocked my world. That completely turned things around. And part of it, I guess I thought, am I not going to be as creative, or am I going to not write as well, or something like that? Because, the music was just kind of the main part of my life. And again, completely not what I thought. All of a sudden, the themes, you sort of think you got to like pitch these certain storylines to people, and you've got to match some kind of like, a prefab mold of somebody, to be successful in this career. And what I found, it's the opposite, like the storytelling, people that have like the family relationships that are talking about, a lot of the Americana stuff really does this well, where they're just talking about that specific person in your life that means something to you. And so now you're sharing something that is not what you think when you're coming up. You're buying that pop music or whatever, and you're just kind of like sold into that. And it's not like that.
It's totally not. It is, again, one thing that you describe yourself as is an option generator. That sounds like a very wealthy job position here in the Rocket City. So what is an option generator?
Like more in the moment-to-moment basis, that a lot of us in times of conflict or crisis, we think that we have kind of like an A or a B. And a lot of times, you know, it's all or nothing. And a lot of
There's
us
a
are,
whole lot of letters in the alphabet.
yeah, we tend to be drawn to, you know, diametrically opposed solutions for things. And I think probably like the driving force of all of my success across the board is that I really can see into a situation and go, you know, okay, are those the only two choices? And there was a time I think I really was married to that of I got to be all or nothing, or I'm going to do it this way or that way, and one of them's wrong. But it's usually not either one of those two things. It's always, and this is the key, if you can take a pause and go, I want to entertain the thought that I could be wrong about these two different ways and that there might be an infinite amount of possibilities for the solution. And I'm mainly talking interpersonally because I really think that that's where everything starts and for me ends. But a lot of times, you know, you might be in the middle of something, just a household thing, you know, or hey, on the parkway, you know, maybe that person that's passing you is, you know, bleepity bleep. Maybe they are something you might think that they are, or some options are they're driving their grandmother to the hospital and they've got a giant crock pot of soup on the floorboard and they may really need to not take the speed bumps at 75 miles per hour. Just a thought, you know. So I guess I'm a little bit heated about the judgment that we all kind of have of our different driving styles. My dad was an aggressive driver. And that was his term. He actually said...
He didn't drive with any crock pots of soup in the car.
No, he did not. I believe he learned to drive on the Autobahn. And so he brought us up also. There's one time we're sitting at a stoplight. And literally I want to say Houston. And so you've got like 8 lanes going both ways. And everyone was stopped at the red light. And I am a student driver. And this is my dad sitting next to me with this thick German accent, mustache, square engineer glasses. And he yells at me, "Gun it." And I'm like, "Oh, no, Daddy, I can't gun it. It's a red light." And he got mad. And I didn't want to cross Daddy, so he said, "Gun it." And everybody else has stopped, and I am way out in the spotlight. And I stepped on that gas. Oh, and nothing happened. Nothing bad happened. But
shout out to Dad.
That was the way that I was raised, and I call myself a reformed driver. I haven't had a ticket in 5 years. I really do have a lead foot. I like the speed, but you know, all that back to tie back in with what your question was is yes, there are very many different ways to do things, and if we will pause and just allow ourselves a speck of compassion for another human being that may have a different worldview from us, then we grow as a person. Who knows? It may or may not help them, but I know it helps me. And it's created patience, you know, and some stability for my kids, probably more than likely.
Man, I'm telling you, you're going to have a lot of people driving around, like, looking out the window like, what do you got, a crock pot of soup in the back? What are you driving so slow for? What's going on?
We've come up with some bumper stickers for the back,
Right.
telling folks what we're up to. Or I want to have one of those like flashing signs where I can like quickly type in a little message.
Oh man, that could be fun. Microwave Dave, how important is patience? You know, we're in the era of, you know, we're in 2020, we're in a whole nother decade, and all the musicians that are coming up out of the Tennessee Valley and the musicians that you've come across and that you've seen come and go. How important from your experience is patience when you're seeing some of the aspiring artists and whatnot? How important is patience?
It's critical all the time. It never ceases to be critical. And I think you have to have patience at the beginning, patience in the middle, and patience at the end. Otherwise, you're going to wind up being a patient yourself, you know, because you're going to drive yourself crazy trying to push the river, you know. I want to go back to what Ingrid said a minute ago, that I have one of those people that likes to put a pad and a pencil next to my bed in case something happens in the middle of the night and I want to write it down. And one night I woke up and wrote, modern life is about freedom, and freedom is defined as the constancy of many options. So people have a definition of freedom based on their job, their home, their nation, nationalism, or whatever. And my definition of freedom now, because of that, is the constancy of many options. Nice. So it kind of goes along a lot with what you were saying, I thought, but that's interesting. Sorry for sidelining your.
No, that's perfect. Again, it's perfect. And again, do we have mics? Dave's mic on? Okay. So, Ingrid, what has been the most vulnerable song you've written so far?
I mean, I think the closer tonight pretty much wraps that up. It's certain songs are very difficult to sing straight, and we can target perfection or looking a certain way. I know that I do that. I know that I came up believing that there was a target, a way to be, a way to look, and it's difficult to sing songs that they're so emotional that you cannot detach from it. And it's, I mean, it was just this guy here, especially when this guy is putting that extra layer of just
sauce,
love and sauce over top of it, and not being alone during those times. There's a strength, and I always like to have my person on the stage with me. You know, there's a lot of times where you can't get your band together, or it's just a solo thing or whatever. But actually, there's a couple in this set, and I won't call out the other one, but there's another slightly louder guitar tune that I did, which is it's pretty personal, and it is it's hard to be authentic in the performance of something. It's easy to just hide behind a really great lyric and some pretty chords or whatever, and just kind of put that out there and go, here, you do with that what you want to. But there are certain songs, especially our closer song tonight, the one that I wrote for my dad, that's really fresh, so I can still feel those things, and I can still see him in a video that I sent for a rehearsal tape to somebody, and he's framed up at the end of my keyboard with this light, I want to call it a calling light, that's just like flooding through the windows, and he's like turning into white light in this song. So it's hard not to, he loved me singing that song to him. So it's hard to detach from that. And I don't think anymore that you want to. A really dear friend of mine, Catherine, actually gave me some advice, and she's not in the industry in any way. She's just a really good person. And she said, "Hi, Catherine. I know you'll be seeing us." She's in Mobile, but her feedback was, "You do perfect really well. You do pretty really well. You do together really well. But I know you at the end of the night when you're wiped out." And she's helping me load gear in, and we've been driving around on the road together to a couple shows or whatever. And she says, "I know that part of you is the part of you that I really love as your friend. And I think that if you would be more open, and if you would be honest that, hey, life is hard as crap. And just because you kind of have an image that you're targeting doesn't mean that things aren't just falling apart all the time, all around all of us." And then just knowing that, maybe there's somebody that kind of watches what I do, and maybe it would help them to know that, hey, look, it ain't all wrapped up. Yeah. I'm just holding it together and doing the best that I can, just the same as anybody else. And that's, I mean, as musicians, we all share that. We all write from that place. And I mean, it's really, really great. It's great to have people that can commiserate with you. Can I say that? Commiserate. That can, they feel your vibes, and they have the same things, and then you can add to that, musically. We're very, very blessed. And somebody said something to me, well, you're lucky, you can always just put this into a song and great, and get over it or whatever. But the flip side of that is that when we do put this stuff into music, it's not for us. Initially, it gets that off of our chest and outside of our heads. But it is really for everybody that might have felt this way today, yesterday, some other time, or it might be coming up in the future.
But that's important because, again, by being yourself, it gives others permission to be themselves and let them know that it's not just them. I think you were going to say something on that.
Well, I'm just going to add in, I think all of us in every part of life have experiences we go back to that are kind of like touchstones or anchors, and we get to a position where we don't know quite where we are, and we have to find those steps. Okay, I can go back to this. This is real. I know where it is. And I have a couple of those, but one involving performing. So she's a great writer, and she puts herself on everything she plays. I remember the first time that we played a gig was in a vacant lot in downtown Huntsville for a suicide prevention awareness thing. You remember that? That was the first time we played together.
Semicolon project.
Yeah, and it was the first time we got to play together. And she put just as much playing for that as she did here today or every other time I've ever seen her. And the first time I saw her play, she was standing up in a long gown playing in front of a jazz band, singing great jazz standards like it was. She did it every day of her life. And she does all that stuff equally with the same nature and all that. But going back to what I was going to say, I have one that I go back to a lot, especially if I'm feeling like I'm not doing anything of value. Down in Fort Lauderdale back in the 1970s, playing in a place that had a stage behind a bar 6 nights a week, and it's a weeknight, and not much going on. Playing a set, the female singer is going to come out after we've done about 15 minutes of other stuff. She comes out the star of the show. And a guy came walking in and sat down at the bar by himself and ordered a cocktail. Looked us all over. That was enough. And he sat there and slowly sipped his cocktail and then called for the check. And right when he called for the check, the singer came out and she started singing. And he looked up and he sat back down and he called for another drink instead. And he listened all the way through the end of the set, 45 minutes back in those days, 45 and 15. And at the end of the set, he asked for a napkin and a pen, and he wrote a note and sent it up. And the note said, I want to thank you for saving my life. I came in to get my last drink, to get the courage to pull the trigger when I got home. I heard you sing. I changed my mind. This is on a nothing night full of no people. You just never know what this music is doing to enliven its own purpose. Music has a real purpose in life. And those of us who get to work in it are extremely blessed, like you said. And sometimes it's easy to forget that. But I go back to that anytime I feel like I'm just being a waste of time and a waste of noise up there. And remember, there might be somebody out there who's taking home something that they really, really need.
It matters.
Well, I hope that people remember that when they're, going through the budgets and looking at where to save money in schools, and they always go to that music box and they want to cut the music from schools, and all right, we're going to save a little bit of money. And you remember that because that could be them, that could be their nephew, that could be their daughter, that could be their son. And imagine tonight with everything that's going on, imagine all that's going on without the arts. Like, take a moment to really let that sink in. Like, all of this going on, and there's no movies to watch, there's no music to listen to, there's no arts and crafts to do. You just got your kids running in circles in the living room, and just imagine that there was no music to get us through this. Like, think about that when they're wanting to pull music. So, again, Ingrid, have you ever tasted the Ingrid Marie apple? Did you know that there's an apple called Ingrid Marie apple?
I actually did. I didn't know that my whole life, but I ran across it.
I just Googled it. I didn't know.
I actually was coached to look online and find out kind of like what's associated with my brand, and that was at the very top. That was, and then there's like some Brazilian singer, kind of like, competitive. I don't know. She's doing some kind of, pageant or something. Miss
Yeah,
Brazil
we tried to bring both of them.
like
We tried to
that.
bring the Brazilian singer
Yeah,
and the apple, but 6 degrees of separation and 6 feet and all that. We just couldn't do it. Danny's got her in the back, but we just couldn't bring her out tonight or the apple.
Maybe she's tried one. No, I have never tried one. Apples are like not my most favorite fruit.
Oh, so we're gonna have to turn it into a brew or like a fruit or like a sorbet or something like that. So last thing, I want to ask you guys each one of your favorite musical memories in Huntsville. We think about the venues that have come and gone. We think about the acts that we've seen. You think about the music that you first heard on the radio and things like that. Just one of your favorite music memories in Huntsville.
Stumped.
My Rolodex is flapping.
No.
I have a lot of these. I'm trying to think which one would I call a favorite. I got to think a minute.
We're going to give y'all enough time to go get that Ingrid Marie apple. Go ahead and grab you a couple of them.
Good. Better yet, go on iTunes and download you some Apple Ingrid Marie. You know, I really love, for lack of a better word, amateurs, but, you know, folks that are not necessarily signed and they're just slogging it. And there's some really fine performers that are here. I like being at the festivals. Like we played the Watersfelts Project, the jazz group. We played at Big Spring Jam years ago. And I got to see people from like all over the state. And of course, I mean, the big acts, obviously they're awesome and they have polished their show. So that's great. But my favorite thing is to see somebody that's just like completely passionate and literally just doing their own thing, creating their own type of a vibe. I mean, I remember the first time I heard Dawn Osborne sing. She flattened me. Sarah Weeks, I saw her just, you know, when she was first out doing like an open mic thing. Those are the type of things. I mean, I felt like that JBL stereo commercial with the guy with the toupee blowing off. And a lot of times I hear music and I kind of want to like jump up on stage and be a part of it. But this, you know, young woman, Sarah Weeks, was singing in the rounds. And I wanted to literally just lay back on a couch and just feel like the lightning crack through my skull. And knowing, and I spoke to her and I was like, so where you at? Like, what's the process? And she was wanting to put a band together, just like a teenager, just trying to get it started. And, you know, things like that blow me away. If, in fact, I do have to say, and this is not really a musical moment, but it is pretty much a stitch, doing the Microwave Dave Foundation we were at. If y'all don't know about Microwave Dave Foundation,
tell them about it.
Yeah, some folks decided that they were going to use Microwave Dave's name for leverage to help get some of those arts in the school. And to answer the question, it'd be complete bedlam if there was no arts and entertainment right now. So
there you go.
Yay for what we do. Yes, it matters. But Evan Billiter was introducing to literally 3- and 4-year-olds kind of what we were going to do for Dr. Seuss Day up at Lakeside Elementary. And he's just kind of doing his thing, and he's addressing this room full of kids, which he's really great at. And they terrify me, unless I'm on the floor with them with the crayons, and I'm totally fine. But if I'm supposed to be like in charge of something, not really. So he's standing up front, and he just goes, he's riffing, and then he's like kind of comes out with, now what rhymes with microphone? And this either 3- or 4-year-old pre-K kid jumps up, arm up in the air, and he yells, Michael Jordan. And there was every age and probably every background gathered in that library together, and literally the whole room flattened. We were laying on our sides in stitches because, yes, what rhymes better with microphone than Michael Jordan? Nothing. If you think of it,
But that day.
the congruencies in his head that put that together, and it connected to every person that was there. And I'm still dying, I'm still cracking up about it because, I mean, he connected. The little dude's a connector. Wow. So he may be a musician. I don't know. Chill City came in after that, and so I'm pretty sure the guy kind of has like a path now.
There you go. Shout out to Chill City in Lakewood, you know, and the Microwave Dave Foundation. For you, what's a musical memory, just one of your favorite memories of Huntsville?
I've narrowed it down to 4. You want all 4 of them? Or
Yeah, let's go.
I don't know. Sorry. I think one of the ones that first came to mind was when Amy McCarley, and another one of our great musical assets in this area, great songwriter.
Yeah, shout out to Amy.
Totally unique voice and artist. And she and I went together to the VBC to see Dave Anderson opening for ZZ Top a few years ago. To see him on that stage up there, you know, as good as he's been around here, leading the whole area for looping. He's the guy who got looping going around here. I was the first guy I ever saw do it. Then his musicianship and singing and songwriting, which, you know, makes the bar really high for the rest of us. And it's just one of the things that was a big thrill. Another one for me was, actually I'm forgetting some of these as I go here, but the chance to appear standing on stage and standing also out on a labyrinth with the Aeolians from Oakwood University, and standing in the middle of them while they sing. And that every time I've seen the Aeolians, I come home soaked with tears of joy that I can't explain. And they have so much great musicianship involved, and they have so much commitment. All of them, watch them when you're standing there, they got tears too. They're not calling this in. And they're one of the great assets to this area. Another great asset to this area to me is the Twickenham Festival, which I go to every year because I get to hear music that is so challenging to play, and as much of it is equally challenging to listen to. It takes us out of the pop music and certainly out of the blues where I am, and you listen to things that just scramble your brain. You have to come away with emotions that don't have terminology for them, and I appreciate that a lot. And there's several others than that, but those things right there are three that I can think of. If you give me another 25 minutes, I'll be glad to.
It's not a fair question.
I said, I've got a Rolodex.
Again, just a few, because again, that just goes to show how rich the music is, that comes through and from Huntsville.
And I remember one other one too. The first time I got to go to, it's the mill down on what was the mill? It's the name of the mill that's down there on Triana that's been converted.
The Lincoln Mill or the?
No, it's I forgot the name of it now.
Merrimack,
thank you, down there. And another great musician, great musical family here, Anthony Sharp and Andrew. They're just amazing whatever they do. And Anthony Sharp has been leading a music class of. They started out, I think, as teenagers. Now they're young adults, special needs people. And he's got them all playing music, and they put on concerts every year. Now, I got invited to go with him, but mostly sitting there and listening to them and watching them get out there. And he has adapted not only the music, but he's adapted the instruments, and he's gone and done research around the world to find instruments that people that have limited hand-eye coordination can still play and make music and contribute to the music. And you see people like that making music for an audience, and they're getting that same experience that we get and take for granted almost, right? Because we get it. And you see Anthony causing that out there. That's giant thrill for me.
That is amazing. And again, for no other reason, this is why music is so important. This is why the arts, again, are so important. And for everyone that's watching and everyone that's on their couches, you could be doing anything, but you're watching us. You're watching these musicians at the Tangled Strings and all the other live streams that are going on, which is really important because otherwise your night would be very boring. And who knows what you'd probably be dreaming about music if you weren't watching, what this is going on. You'd probably be dreaming about going somewhere. So again, thank you, Ingrid. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Tangled Strings, Danny, everyone that's performed and that will continue to perform. You guys make sure that you hit that donation button and you support the arts no matter where you are. It doesn't have to be us on this stage. Just again, wherever the arts are, wherever the local mom and pop spots are, the food, local shops, your neighbors, shop with your neighbors. Shop with your neighbors and listen to your neighbors. And again, we'll see you guys on another episode right here at the Tangled Strings. Again, it's been a great evening. We'll see you guys on the next episode. We out.
Can we have a sanitary fist bump?
There you go. There you go. Bomb.
All right.
Thank you, guys.